Okay, this might be the quickest video I ever do in my life, or the scrappiest. But I cannot resist the urges that keep coming up time and time again about just sharing openly, whether it's about my journey, my story, or just being very honest about the challenges that that we kind of can overlook when we live in a world where everything is polished and perfected and there's merit to that. And like we want to do that. We want to definitely have that sense of shininess. There can be greatness in that structure that gives us, but also just to say, right, okay, well, this is also life, and how can we make the most of it and have the impact, or just do what we want to do, love the work that we do, get paid really well for it, but also to not feel unwell in that process. And actually really what this is about is I've been thinking about it so much, and I've said for ages I was going to come on and blog and vlog about the behind the scenes of business and life, whatever. But actually I think what I want to share about is, since I discovered I have ADHD, just to like talk about it more on here, because for me, for some reason, I feel like I have to share it publicly, and it's easier doing that than it is to talk to people that I know closely. And so I've got a client in like 10 minutes. So just over the next like 1 to 2 minutes, I just wanted to share the biggest ways that ADHD has impacted me. So I had anorexia as a teenager, and looking back, I think this is all linked to my sense of non-belonging, of feeling like I wasn't enough, of comparing myself to everyone else I was around, like all my friends, all the celebrities or people I looked up to in the media, because I always wanted to be an actor. And so I very much associated what success as an actor would look like. You had to look a very physical way. And so I didn't see my body as being that kind of body that would be successful, because all the actors, you know, back in the 90s were really skinny, and I wasn't a skinny person. I was a strong teenager. And so that led into, obviously there was low self-esteem issues there that I didn't realise at the time, that led into an eating disorder. And I had an incredible background, incredible upbringing. It's not at all to do with that. It's to do with my reaction to the world. You know, I was brought up in the most amazing household. Like, it wasn't like, you know, like we hear stories about other parents having issues with food. Like, I didn't have that at all. I wasn't surrounded by that. For me, it was that I don't think I am as deserving as what other people are, and therefore I need to look a certain way to do that. And then the other ways that it's shown up is only retrospectively that I realised this, having explored diagnosis, was that when I had my daughter, I just couldn't handle it. My brain was like completely and utterly, I would look at things and it was like you couldn't see anything. I couldn't actually get stuff done. I was constantly unsure about where I was taking my work. I couldn't focus on anything. And then learning more about it, because obviously there's been more kind of awareness of it on social media and things like that. Just being aware of how the pain I felt after my divorce actually was probably around the rejection that I felt, my perceived rejection in a life that I had known growing up, in whether it's social circles or people I'd known, or the impact of the relationship ending on my identity and who I thought I was, and not knowing who that was anymore. And then also understanding now how that plays into the decisions I make in business. And actually, I can be like, oh, I'm open to rejection, but obviously, or not obviously, there are definitely things that go on that I do or don't do that are still feeding into the fact that I have fear around that. And so I just thought, because as I developed the Thrive method as well, which is this method that I've developed over the last 23 years as a coach and a performer and an actor, but also realising now that it was to help me to sort out or handle my ADHD tendencies, is I really want to help you manage your symptoms whilst also being able to maximise your potential. Because, you know, there is chat about it being like this whole new wave now of women especially, and mums who are also coming into that phase where we're about to maybe hit perimenopause and menopause, and how the fuck are we going to cope with that too? And so the Thrive method gives you a framework to manage your anxiety, manage those, like that brain explosion, also to avoid the cycles of burnout, whilst feeling free to express yourself. Because I think what I've really learned is that a lot of this comes down to a feeling of trappedness in my body, in myself, in my judgment, in my shame that I've carried, both from the challenges that I've had with whether it's alcohol or food, you know, going from all or nothing, or just not ever really making anything a success because of the boredom or the lack of attention, or the need to give out energy in a way that needs to be channeled in a way that is productive for me to feel fulfilled. Otherwise, it's like I've still got this energy to give. Where can I give it? Where can I give it? And when I had my knee surgery when my daughter was 6 months old, you know, I couldn't run anymore after that surgery. And running had always been something that I could channel energy into to to process a lot of the stuff, which is probably why I worked in fitness for such a long time. But it's just checking that mic is still working. And also this is really high, isn't it? But I don't think it matters. I mean, this is just like, I just wanted to come on here, and I think this is just like a new series of living with ADHD as a female creative, as a business owner, as a mum, as someone who every day is sitting with the thoughts that come in, processing them, acknowledging them, reframing them, and knowing that I can help you to fulfill your potential, and that maybe we can do it together. And that's what Club Thrive is about as well, is like really having that space where you're safe to be yourself. And it doesn't actually matter about your gender. I think what I'm recognising as well is that there's a lot of men and people that are confused about who they are, because we've been told that identity is now a very specific thing. And actually, it's more about who you are as a person. I'm very sensitive, very empathetic. You know, there's this like association versus complete dissociation with whether it's, you know, I can be very present with clients and then be challenged to be present at home because of the work, the kind of nature of that attention as well. And so anyway, I've got to go now for this client, but I'll try and do a more succinct video in the next one. I just wanted to like take the action, get this recorded, get it out into the world, and then hopefully my open conversation will also help you to process any of those blocks that you have around receiving money. I mean, like money mindset and all that kind of stuff. I know it's like banded around terms now, but I think when you're also someone that loves to give, you're very empathetic, you know, you want to have an impact, you want to help other people feel less alone, you want to help them feel like they have a place in the world because you've never felt like you've known when your place is. We also have to be careful that we're not giving out so much that we are not also able to sustain ourselves, because that's the cycle of burnout too. So it's also about understanding our energetic needs and allowing that to be okay, and to take away the shame, to process any of that guilt or grief that we might be feeling about what we perceive to have lost in a diagnosis, or not a diagnosis, but wondering about these tendencies that are such a challenge. You know, even just like replying to emails. Oh my God, it's so hard when I'm not engaged in them. So anyway, great to meet you. I'm Kate. I'm a coach. I live in London. I'm an actor. I love storytelling. I love helping people fulfill their potential. And I'm actually really down to earth. And I really honestly just want to help you thrive. So follow the channel, join my Substack. There's changes coming, and I just want to help you and meet you and like have a great time. Okay, have a good one. Bye.